I stay on for about 10 minutes. Thought I'd say hi, give an update, talk about my taper of Remeron, talk about how long I've been off benzos and stuff like that. 7.5 years, a little over, of being off benzos. Uh, After I was so sick and I had no idea what the hell was going on. For some reason, I was still trusting doctors, and they put me on gabapentin, Seroquel, heart medication, forgot what that was, and something else. Anyway, I got off all those things other than Remeron. I'm still on Remeron, tapering it, because pretty much destroyed my nervous system, all that stuff, and neurological dysfunctions and stuff like that. So I'm still tapering Remeron, and usually my journey right now is mostly talking about getting off of Remeron on a nervous system that's pretty damaged, but doing better. Um, I would say I'll probably be off Remeron in probably 2 years. I would say, at a guess, not positive, but it would be pretty close if it wasn't then. Um, I'm living my life a lot more now, which is great. But I still can't do a lot of things. Like if like just recently, I went for an hour drive and did some stuff and some work, and then I drove back. Just that alone throws me in bad waves. I can't really do stuff like that still, but I'm able to do it, and that's the good part. I still go into really bad waves, but not as bad as it used to be. It's just I'm very I have the fatigue syndrome now because it's been so long. So it's more or less just fatigue. Fatigue of dealing with all the symptoms. As before, it was pretty new, so I didn't really know what was happening. Um, I'm in the middle of moving again, trying to make a better life. But when moving happens, that means you're fucking exhausted. So I don't know. Things are okay. Things could be way better. I still get akathisia. I still get the DPDRs can still be pretty heavy. My allergies are awful. Um, Before this whole mess 7.5 years ago, I used to be on Zyrtec all the time for allergies. Made my life a lot easier. But I had to stop taking that in the process of all this medication crap. And Remeron pretty much destroyed my fucking histamine receptors. So anything like, or whatever the fuck. So now my allergies are always bad. And I just have to live my life. So I go outside and it's just like I'm down for a few days. Um, with my symptoms just getting higher just from allergies in general. Being around cats, which I've always been around, makes my allergies worse. But I just do what I can. Once in a while, I'll take an allergy medicine, but it usually just makes me feel drunk. And the more I take it, the more my unstable brain feels, and that's no good. But, sometimes I have no choice. Right now, my allergies are bad. But then again, I've been working a lot, moving stuff in my workroom, and there's just a lot of dust in there. Um, but things are going decent. It's just, I'll always say I have a long way to go, but I can't really say that for sure because I don't know the future. But it sure feels like it because I've got a lot of tapers to do, and I got a lot of life to live. So trying to put those together, can be really fucking hard and stressful. I still have to work all the time. Oh, excuse me, I'm tired. I just thought I'd pop on here for about 10 minutes and give an update while I can. While I remember, anyway. Um, my skin's been burning a lot. It's been getting a little worse every day. I mean, I took a pretty big driving trip for me. You know, it was like 110 miles both ways. Well, altogether. And that was huge for me. So I was pretty proud of that because, I mean, at one point I couldn't drive at all. And then when I did, I mean, my symptoms when I would drive would be terrible to the point where, like, when I would turn left or turn right, like, any of the sensory of that would make my brain uh, shut down to literally where things would almost turn black for a moment. It was fucking terrifying. So, well, it is what it is, right? So, I don't get that anymore, but once in a while I feel it. I feel it trying to be that way. Um, but it doesn't cut through anymore. Not like it did years ago. Hey, do you meditate? Heard it can be helpful. I meditate every single day. And sometimes it feels helpful and sometimes it doesn't. I imagine I would be in way worse shape if I didn't. You gotta try to calm down the nervous system and brain as much as you can. Um, when it does work, it's just feels it's so nice. Actually, slightly feel relaxed is a hard thing to do in benzo withdrawal. I'm so tired today. I got a lot done today, but I've been busting my ass. So I'm doing things I never thought I could do again. I mean, as negative as I could try to be because things have been so hard for the last so many years, I'm pretty damn grateful that I've gotten to this point. You know, I deal with the benzo withdrawal syndrome. I deal with bad visual snow syndrome. Um, I deal with fibromyalgia in general, even before this. So, like, with all that together, and who else, being pre diabetic sometimes and not, and I have to watch what I eat, and, I still have a really super clean diet. Once in a while, I'll eat something I don't normally eat, and it's been a little better. Like, I'm a huge fan of popcorn. I love popcorn. Who the fuck doesn't love popcorn? But I don't eat it. But I have it once in a while now, and it usually makes me sick. But it's worth it. I'm starting to add some things in my diet that I haven't eaten in a long time, and that's been cool. But nothing major, just like adding cheese or, you know, little things. But um, I pretty much still eat a pretty bland diet. Chicken every day. I eat beef every day, and I've tend to feel that I started feeling a little bit better once I started adding beef, and that was kind of hard because when I started eating like a steak type beef or whatever, my body would start to buzz a lot. Like, I think it was too many vitamins or something. Who knows? My body wasn't used to it. But I started eating little bits, and now I eat it every single day at one point, a day. And in general, as sick as I am, I think I'd be worse without it. So, um, it helps me. I don't know how. Everybody's different. Everybody's different. Sometimes people don't even change their fucking diet at all, and they're fine. But I have to be super careful. I'm so sensitive. When I took a big drive a few days back, uh, so I'm pretty worn out. No, I couldn't take time. Being a dude, and with the relationship I was in then, I couldn't. I was debilitated and I still had to work. But luckily, I've always worked for myself. So I still had, I had a little help, not much, but a little help at the time. But in reality, I should have never had to work full time. with what I was having to deal with, the the acid trip feeling and shit I was having, and I mean my body barely was working. Oh my god. I felt like I was going to have a stroke or a seizure at all times. I mean, I can go on and on about symptoms and the akathisia, and I still had to fucking work, and I was working constantly. But I was also in a relationship where the person didn't give a fuck and let that happen. So, whatever. I got a little help just so it could stay alive, but in reality, I probably would be a little better today, and I don't think my withdrawal would have lasted as long as it did if it wasn't for being completely taken advantage of and pushed pushed to keep that going. I mean, it's nice that I was able to keep the business around, but also that business could have survived no matter what. You know, what I needed was somebody to, you know, work more while I had more time to heal. Like now it's like I work all the time, but I'm so used to it that it's like, but it still throws me into waves and it still fucks with me and it's still really hard. Anytime I'm on my feet for more than an hour or two, it's like it always throws me into more DPDR and more akathisia, and so, but I have to do it. It's my job. I have to do it. So it's what it is. I'll always have PTSD from this. PTSD for me is very real. Um, I'm always terrified of getting thrown back into where I was. I have much more support now with my girlfriend now, but um, I will always just that moment when it was at its worst, and still nobody. I mean, still today, but nobody really was believing how bad it was. Because one of my coping techniques is always pretend it wasn't existing and just do the best I could and keep trying to live my life the best I could. So a lot of the times people think I'm not that sick because literally I sound like this all the time. My wave could be horrible, I sound like this. I feel a little better, I sound like this. So a lot of people pretty much thought I was full of shit. And I'm sure they still do. They just think it's some sort of anxiety, you know? And so if it was just anxiety, life would be a lot fucking easier. But it's if you're able to take off work, more power to you. I notice in the benzo withdrawal community, it's a lot more women than men. Um, and it seems to be a lot of women have the husband is usually working full time and can take care of stuff while you can't, but it's like for some reason it's like when it comes to dudes in this, when it comes to guys, it's like it's just not the same way. It's not the same where fucking it's like we're stuck working no matter what. I don't get it. It was terrifying. Um well, I'm not going to go through all the negatives. Point being is things are a lot better now. And they're getting better, but slow still, but I'm a lot better. Even from 1 year ago to 2 years ago, I'm much better now than I was then. I'm doing so much more now. I'm able to get out more. I'm working constantly. I don't need to work one day and take 3 or 4 days off anymore. Sometimes I do, but it's really rare. So every time I taper Remeron, it's brutal, but it's like I get stronger. And the thing is, anybody in my life has to be patient, because I'm not speeding this up. Because the last time I tried to speed up my tapers, it got pretty scary. Honestly, the last time I fucked up Remeron and I over tapered it, I couldn't taper for almost 2 years after that. That was fucking terrible. That was terrible. I shouldn't be alive because what my brain was doing, wow. But things get better. It always gets better. All the times that I say if I get better from this, then I know I'll be okay. And even not long ago when I had a nerve stimulation test for my carpal tunnel, I didn't realize what I was getting into. That threw me into such a bad place. But again, I'm better from that. But that took months. Man, it's always something. Life is going to hit you no matter what. That's the thing. Life will hit you and you can't stop it. You're going to get sick from other things. You're going to, overdo it. There's just going to be so many things that you're just going to put a halt. So it's like things might take longer than you want. But this is all human shit. I had to take regular antibiotics. I've had to take a steroid pack once or twice. Oh, that was the worst though. Whew. The regular antibiotics didn't fuck me up too much. As long as you don't take the fluoroquinolone antibiotics. Like, some people get really set back from regular antibiotics, but I didn't. The only ones I've ever taken, though, within the last 7.5 years, like I think I've taken twice, was a Z-Pack, zithromycin, something, whatever. Didn't fuck me up too much. I did get in waves from it. I mean, I've been to the hospitals where I've been, I've had MRIs with withdrawal. I've done so much stuff, but it's been 7.5 years. I've tried to dodge so much of that stuff, but I couldn't dodge it. Had no choice. I went through all the stages when this first happened. Trying to find out that there was something else wrong. I took every test on the planet, listened to every doctor tell me I was fucking crazy. Went to the heart doctors, which, dude, I still go to the heart doctors. Man, that made my heart crazy. And it still gets fucked up. I mean, I still have heart palpitations every day. Every day. It'll just be a beat, 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 beat. Give that fucking crazy delayed beat shit. That's nuts. Still does it every day. I went to the ER months back because my heart was racing and beating off all fucking crazy. And they didn't find nothing again. Same old shit. They just said anxiety. And I'm like, yeah, whatever. I'm just trying to find out I'm not dying. Whatever. You can say all the dumb shit you want. I stay away from all pills as much as I can. I'm still stuck on Prilosec. I've been stuck on that for so many years, but that's the last thing I'm thinking about tapering now. But I will try to taper that. Probably a year or two. Probably a year. Yeah, probably 2 years after I'm off benzos. Then I'll probably, since those are beads, I'll probably just taper beads and eventually get off of it. It's the least of my worries, but it is a problem, and I'm sure it's not. I know it's not good for me at all. Get proper nutrients. I know I don't because of that. But this is all shit, and it's a fucking journey. You take it one day at a time. I'm taking my life one day at a time, and I've been taking it. I used to take it minute by minute, but now I take it one day at a time. Sometimes I can't wait till I can take it week at a time, 1 week at a time. It's like however my week is. Hopefully it'll stay the same, but as of right now, every day is fucking different for me. I honestly wish I could take care of my allergies better. That would probably make me feel less, a little more clear. That would be nice. But especially with spring and summer and all that coming around, it's going to be brutal. Going to be living with cats again, so that's going to be hard, especially at first, until I acclimate to it. I'll always have allergies to it, but my body has to acclimate to it again. Then you just get a little more used to it. But at first, it'll probably throw me into a pretty rockin' wave for a while until my body can just slightly get used to it. Probably being a little bit more of a fog for a while. But that's going to go no matter what. I go outside too much, I have the same problem. So, I mean, I'm always fucked, you know. Life is crazy, but things do get better. I mean, even if you're a long hauler like me, protracted as fuck, things get better. But it's slow. But you can't dwell on it. That's the problem. I have found the more, I mean, it's kind of like a catch-22 kind of thing. Like the more I relax and try to calm my nervous system down, the more I get in my head, and that makes things worse big time for me. It makes my anxiety worse. The more I'm doing stuff and keeping busy, the better things get. But then again, keeping busy will make my symptoms worse. So these, just trying to find that middle ground, that's the hardest part. Um, I guess I'll end with just saying, you know, like I said, things do get better. Um, I'm able to do so much more now. And I was in debilitated state almost when I got off benzos. That was horrific. Horrific. But you know, your surroundings will make a difference. You know, having somebody supportive will help. Um, Somebody that will actually listen to you without on the inside thinking you're crazy, because you can tell. Especially when people say, well, are you sure it's not just anxiety? Well, anxiety plays a role. Why wouldn't it? I mean, this is chemical craziness. Of course, it's going to build your anxiety, but it's not the anxiety that's making all your symptoms crazy. Only if people could understand what it's like to have a benzo induced neurological dysfunction and joy. I wouldn't wish it almost on anybody, but honestly, there's a few people I, you know, almost deserve to feel it just from sounding stupid. Like one time, my neurologist, I went in there to talk about, this was so long ago, I don't remember what I was saying, but went in there and he rolled up on his chair, put his hand under, he's like, Dan, that can't happen. And I said, bullshit, it can't happen. I've been suffering for years. After that happened, fuck yeah, it was fucking awful. And I'm like, if you claim it can't happen, then you help me find the reason. And he didn't. So yeah, bullshit, people. That's what it is. It's pure bullshit. People act like assholes. They sound like assholes. And they make you feel like an asshole for fucking, you know, feeling what you feel. Not our fault. I can't help that it's rare. And they don't have the research. All they have to do is say, hey, we don't have the research. This is really rare. But what we can do is, you know, be there for you. Understand that you're being honest with us, and maybe we can mitigate some of it with something. And I'm not even talking drugs, just anything, support. I mean, the fact that I had to work through this, luckily I worked for myself because I could never actually work a job outside. I could never do it. I couldn't do that now. Luckily, I can take time off if I need to. Not a lot, but like during the day, if I really can't do something in the next 3 hours, then maybe 3 hours from now I can do some work. You know, if I need to go out for my job, which I do all the time, you know, and I can't one day, then I can go the next day. So I'm lucky that way. But I'm tired. I'm tired of people saying it's bullshit. It's so stupid. Could you imagine getting cancer like when it first happened and you're like, what the fuck? And you're dying and shit. And people are like, well, that can't happen, guy. You know? Jeez. I wish this was bullshit. Honestly, I wish it was all in my head. But it's not. You know, just try to find people, you know, try to find support where you can. The groups on Facebook are pretty good, but watch out for advice because advice could kill you. But everybody's different, so you try everything. Try, I tried everything. And I've found that nothing helped me other than time, patience, and eventually, when I could handle it, eating more beef in my diet. Um, I don't know. I eat a lot of fats, a lot of probably cholesterol, basically. I eat a lot of fatty beef almost. I eat a lot of butter. Once I started putting more weight back on, I started feeling a little better. I mean, I don't feel great by any means. I don't feel good by any means. But it started to get me off my ass. I got a little more energy. I still only drink water, but I drink carbonated water. Not flavored stuff, but just regular carbonated water. I love it. But I've always had that since day one, I think, anyway. Long time. Um, just trying to come up with ideas, but it's a long, hard road. If you have any questions, ask now because I'm going to cut out of here in a couple of minutes. So, I do wish I could take care of my allergies better. I use a neti pot all the time, but that certainly isn't the answer for everything. Um, it helps, but not great. It only does so much. I mean, after you have the histamine problem, it's not like a neti pot's going to break that up. It's just your body has to, do its thing. Time, patience, and try to find the best support that you can get. If you have a husband or wife or girlfriend or boyfriend or whatever, and they're supporting you emotionally, physically, whatever, don't take that for granted because it's really hard. Almost everybody I've seen in the system of benzo withdrawal ended up single at some point. You think, people are going to support you because they care about you. They get sick of it really fast, and then they blame you. They try to say things like, uh, "You don't care about yourself," because you didn't do everything. And honestly, you can't do everything. And even when you do the things you're doing, you know, I don't know. Yeah, picking up the pieces. That's all you can do. I mean, you have to do everything for yourself. Um, you are your best support, but don't take for granted the support you do get on the outside, and always thank people for the support. You know, and because without them it can be really hard. But also, don't let people take advantage of you either. You know, or talk to you you're like you're not doing enough for yourself. I mean, literally, you're surviving every day, and nobody will ever understand what it's like. And as many times as you tell somebody you're not going to understand what it's like, they're not going to even remotely understand what it's like. And that's okay, but don't let them walk all over you because of it. Not like I was. I did the best I could. I worked my ass off. I I even when I could barely function, I still did stuff. I still did the dishes. I still took care of my dog. I still tried to take care of life and take care of the relationship I was in and stuff like that. And I mean, thank God that relationship's no longer. I mean, But just the point of the story is, you know, you do everything you can, and it will never be enough. It will never be enough because they'll always make excuses that you are not doing good enough. In a way, like, oh, you know what, you obviously don't care about yourself if you don't do this or do that. And it's like, oh, that's garbage, because it's like, already did that, you know. They'll always, if they're gonna be shitty towards you or leave you or something, they're always gonna make excuses that you're not doing good enough. And you know damn well, being benzo withdrawal syndrome, I mean, if you're surviving, then you're doing good, because I can't even count the suicides I've seen in this. You know, I've been there, my head was there, and I wasn't even in a place where I could talk about how suicidal I was, because I didn't need them throwing me or pushing me into a place I didn't need to be, because I didn't need to be on more drugs. That's the fucking thing. And my path and journey came to where I'm at now, where I'm able to have good conversations. I can have a physical and emotional relationship again, finally. I can go out to restaurants. I can go out and do my job on my own all the time. I can drive. Now, I've still got ways to go with that, but you know, I mean, I've got a ways to go in general, but I'm doing it all and I'm building it. And like I always said, you got to be patient with people like us. You have to be. And if you're not, then go on your fucking way and let somebody else come in that actually gives a fuck about us. Because I'm, you don't need people that are shit in your life, that don't give a fuck about you. Find somebody that's willing to try to understand, which again, they'll never understand. The people that will be with, my girlfriend, well, she'll never fully understand. Of course she can't, because she's not in my body or head. But the best we can do is explain to them what it is, and they have to kind of abide by some of our dumbass rules. You know, I don't drink alcohol. I won't, I won't eat certain things. I can't have food with this or that, blah, blah, blah. There's a lot of rules, and it's really fucking frustrating for people. But who do you think it's more frustrating for, them or us? You know, I've been eating chicken for 7.5 years. You know, it got really old, but things do get better. Hey, look at that. I was only going to be on here for 10 minutes, and here I am. Anyway, you all take care. I just wanted to bitch and moan. Just understand that things do get better. Better support systems definitely come. You know, I wouldn't be where I'm at this last few years if it wasn't for my girlfriend. Wouldn't be. And she pushes me in a way without being pushy. You know, there's no expectations. You know, and then sometimes I push myself when I know it's going to set me back, but I push myself anyway, because I want to go further, you know, see where I'm at. I don't know if I'm going to fall into a wave again. I did, but you know. Anyway, you know, just keep your head up, and things get better. This might be slow for you, might not be. It might be 3 months later you're feeling a lot better. I always suggest not to go on supplements or other medications if you don't have to, because those are the things that really I've set me back and set everybody I know back. And the nervous system is hard to heal when you're on other medications you shouldn't be on. So anyway, peace out. Have a great evening, and just keep your head up, man. Being this sick is fucking bullshit. We live one life and we got fucked. But hey, you know, I mean, it's our journey and it's your journey now. So just do the best you can. And the best piece of advice I can give you is learn to accept it. You don't have to like it, but just have that acceptance. Be like, you know what, this is me, and it might last a while. And then just go your day by day and try to enjoy what you can from it. Meditate, relax, stay busy, distract as much as you can. Anyway, take care.